Hey, it's Andrew with Funnel Boom, and we're here for video number 4, which is our bonus video. And the topic is the 5 biggest Facebook ad mistakes that'll cost you major money. And these are maybe a little bit off the beaten trail of typically what you would hear from people as common mistakes. These are things that we've seen repeated from businesses of all sizes, and I mean, we've made a lot of these mistakes ourselves. So no guilt or no harm in making these mistakes, but we just wanted to make you aware of them and then help you to fix them so that you can make more money from your ads. All right, so if you're watching this video, it's pretty safe to say you've seen the first 3 videos of this mini course, Facebook Ads, Measurement and Mastery. If you haven't watched those 3, go check them out. I think that you'll get a lot of value out of it, but the whole concept here is if you're making decisions on bad or misinterpreted data, you're wasting major money with your Facebook ads. And our goal here is to increase your ROI. So if you didn't watch video 1 through 3, those aren't required for this video, but go back and check them out. And there's a lot of good information there, a lot of actionable information. All right, so let's get right into it. Number 1 mistake. Well, this is actually kind of a misconception. So we get a lot of folks that contact us or that we work with that say, I want to add a new pixel or I want to change my pixel because my old one's not working and I want to like add a new one to kind of burn it in or season it or warm it up. And so this is a big misconception. The Facebook pixel, so the pixel, which typically we're talking about like a pixel ID, now with the new pixel, like the pixels themselves don't learn anything over time. The only place where the optimization occurs, where like Facebook is sorting out who to send your ads to in order to increase your conversion rates, in order to lower your CPA and increase your ROI. The only place where that occurs is at the ad set level, which the pixel is responsible for sending that data into Ads Manager and into their optimization algorithms. So the pixel plays a part of it, but over the long term, the pixel doesn't maintain any information about who's converting. Now, the only caveat to that, the way that you can take advantage of longer term, or what the pixel has fired, or what events the pixel has seen fire, would be through lookalike audiences. So if you create an audience of purchasers from the last 30 days based on your pixel activity, and then you create a lookalike off of that, that's a way that you can capitalize on the traffic or the conversions that the pixel has seen. But the pixel in and of itself doesn't harbor any information. Like, it doesn't do you any good to switch your pixel out and to try to start fresh with a new pixel. That's just not the way that the pixel works. And we've got confirmation on that from one of the best Facebook rep that I've ever worked with. He's a guy that's very astute, very technical, and he doesn't just kind of regurgitate what's in the Facebook product updates. He's like in the nitty gritty. So this is confirmed by him. So yeah, if you want to take advantage of your pixel, if you want to, leverage what it's seen or the events that have fired in the past, again, use lookalikes, but just know that the pixel itself does not persist like the learnings from a certain campaign or ad set. Okay. Let's see, number 2, not using existing posts within campaigns with many ad sets to stack your social proof. All right, now this is probably not too clear from the way I've worded it here, but basically what I'm talking about is if you have a campaign, right? If you create a campaign in Power Editor, so we have our campaign, and then we're going to have many ad sets in that campaign. So typically the way you would set this up is you would create your first ad set. And so you set up your campaign, create your ad set, create all your ads, right? So we'd have ad 1, ad 2. Let's say we have 3 ads in this case. Ad 3. And then I would duplicate that ad set. So I'd copy it, copy the ad set, and then change my targeting. Then I'd have my second ad set, which would automatically have these ads in it. And maybe I'll do that again depending on how many ad sets I have. So I'll copy it again. Now I'll have another, 1, 2, and 3 inside that ad set. Well, when you do it this way, it creates, you're going to end up with, 3 ad sets times 3 ads. That's 9 total ads, right? So that means you're going to have 9 post IDs, so 9 separate posts. So even though these ads are the exact same thing, you're going to have 3 copies of each one. Well, the problem with this is there's a couple problems or a couple issues where you could kind of do better. Number one, the most important thing would be that any likes or shares or comments are going to be now scattered across 9 ads instead of 3, right? We've really got 3 ads, but we've got 3 copies of them. So all the likes, again, the social proof, which is really important on Facebook. I mean, I would say next to it might even be as important as your headline these days. You're going to be spreading all that social proof out over 9 ads instead of 3. So how do you fix this? Well, all right. So first, let me take a step back and say, if you're using a software like Espresso, or you're trying to test out different combinations of ads, this isn't always like a best practice. It just depends on what you're trying to do. So if you're not familiar with Espresso lets you create like tons of different variations of ads with different combinations of like headlines, text, images, whatever. And it mixes and matches all the different combinations. And then over time, it figures out what's the best combination of headline, body copy, image, call to action, you name it. So in that case, if you're trying to like isolate what's the best combination of creative, this does not apply. But I'm talking business as usual, like you're going to run a campaign from Power Editor. What I would recommend is, instead of doing this where you create your ad set, I'm not going to go into Power Editor and show you this just because for the sake of time. And we have the full walkthrough of this in our course, which I'll tell you more about in a minute, called AFADQ, which is Awesome Facebook Ads Done Quick. But the basic way you do this is the fastest way that I found, which I wish there was an easier way, is number one, you create your campaign and your first ad set just like normal. So 1, create your campaign and ad set, right? And then inside that ad set, create your ads like normal. So add 1, 2, 3 in our example. Okay, now I'm going to publish that. I'm going to go ahead and publish the campaign with 1 ad set. Then I'm going to go to Ads Manager, and I'm going to preview those ads. So I'm going to go to the preview feature so that I can see those ads. It's supposed to be an eyeball. And then there's like a link that says Post Permalink. Go to Post Permalink. You're going to go to that, and you're going to get the post ID from the URL. So inside of the URL that it takes you to, it'll be like your page and then /14856 or whatever. You know what I mean? So in the URL, there's going to be a post ID. You're going to copy that out for each one of these ads. So I'm going to take my 3 post IDs and then paste them into like a text file or something. And then I'm going to go back to Power Editor. So back to Power Editor. I'm going to create my second ad set. So I'm going to create second ad set. And then inside of that ad set, I'm going to use, for the ads, I'm going to use existing posts as the ad type. And I'm going to use these IDs just copied out of the permalinks. And that should pull them in right away. Okay, so I would create 3 ads in this ad set, all existing posts. And again, it's just 3 ads because of this example. I'm not saying you have to do 3 ads. It can be however many you want. So I'm going to get my 3 existing post ads inside this ad set. Okay, and then for my other ad sets, for number 3 plus, I'm just going to copy this. So I'm going to copy ad set 2. And then they'll already be set up. So I'll copy ad set 2, change my targeting, my budget, whatever other ad set level variables I want to change. So I'm going to copy that ad set, and then the ads will already be based on existing posts. So I'll be good to go. So after I do that, get all my ad sets created, then I'll publish. So the end result is, instead of 9 ads inside that campaign, you have 3. And that's what we're after. Okay, so let's see here. Back to the... Okay, mistake number 3, careful with the fan. So let me show you what I mean here. Not sure if you guys remember Steve-O jumping into the ceiling fan, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But we're not talking about ceiling fans here. We're talking about Facebook Audience Network. Sorry for the corny play on words there. But Facebook Audience Network, right? So when you run ads, you know that in the ad set settings, it by default asks you to do all placements. So in the ad set, it's like recommended to use automatic placements and use them all. And if you edit that, or you try to say, all right, I'm going to manually choose my placements, it gives you this big warning like, hey, you're going to lose conversions. Well, I'm going to tell you that, number 1, ignore that. But number 2, with Facebook Audience Network, specifically if you're running a website or, link click objective, you have to be really careful with Audience Network. So if you're using link click as your objective, but you still want people to convert on your website, I don't know what the reason is for this, but we've seen that Facebook Audience Network, I don't know that they're fraudulent clicks or they're fake clicks or whatever, but we've just seen that a lot of the clicks inside of link click objective campaigns don't end up doing anything. And the weird thing is, like, a lot of times we see they don't even really translate to visits on the website. So if Facebook Audience, we've seen that Facebook Audience Network can drive really cheap clicks. So if your objective is link click and Facebook Audience Network is driving really cheap clicks, all your budget's going to get siphoned over to Facebook Audience Network. So you have to be really careful. And this is a reason, in video 3 of this series, we talked about breakdowns. This is why it's important to look at your spend and your results based on a placement breakdown in Ads Manager. So if you go to breakdowns and choose placement, I want to see how my ads performing across Audience Network, desktop newsfeed, mobile newsfeed, yada, yada, yada. Now, it's not as big of a deal, or Facebook Audience Network isn't that bad of an option to choose if you're doing website conversion objective, because if your objective is a couple steps down the funnel, or at least 1 step beyond a click down the funnel, Facebook's going to auto optimize your placements for you, or try to. And in most cases, if Facebook Audience Network is driving leads or purchases or whatever it may be, then all the better. Sure, keep it. I'm not saying that Facebook Audience Network's always terrible. What I am saying is that in the case where it's about clicks, you have to be really careful. So if your campaign objective or your campaign goal is website conversions, I wouldn't be as concerned. I would still check it in your breakdowns to be sure it's not siphoning all your budget away. And then if it is, you can split out your other placements into other ad sets, or remove Facebook Audience Network if your ROI is not there. But overall, I'd say be careful with Facebook Audience Network. And then that applies to all placements, right? So Facebook Audience Network is the main one, but I emphasize, use your breakdowns when you're reviewing your ad results and see what placements are working. Okay, so mistake number 4, misconception on conversion windows and optimization objective selections, right? So this is kind of a big one. Facebook needs conversions. All this is based on the fact that you would be running a campaign with website conversion objective, right? So we're only talking about website conversion objective campaigns here, but Facebook needs conversions every day at the ad set level in order to properly feed its machine learning algorithms. So we need 5 conversions per day minimum on whatever event you set as the conversion objective. So if you choose leads or add to cart or purchase, we want to look at our breakdown in Ads Manager and see how many of those we're getting per day. So if you break down your results by time and by day, and let's say our conversion window is set to 1 day click through, I want to be sure that I'm getting at least 5 conversions on our objective, and optimally we need 20 or more per day per ad set. So let's see if we can't cut over to the whiteboard here. So the conversion, so we need 5 conversions per day per ad set. Now this is assuming that you're using a 1-day click-through window or 1-day click plus view-through conversion window. So we need 5 at a minimum. Optimal, we need 20 plus conversions. Okay, so if you look at your results and you're seeing that you're getting, like, let's say you're doing website conversion campaign, and then your ad set, you're setting purchase as the actual objective event, based on your pixel fire, the purchase event. If we're looking for purchases, which typically that's what we want to optimize to, because that's where we're going to make our ROI, so that makes sense. But if we break it down, our results down by day, and we see that we're only getting 2,100 per day, if this is your breakdown by day, then we have a little bit of an issue. We might need to move the objective further up in the funnel. So then I would look at how many add to carts I'm getting per day, and I would consider moving it further up in the funnel. Now this breakdown, be sure that if your conversion window is set to 1-day click, so if your conversion window in the ad set setting is set to 1-day click, be sure that your attribution window, as you're reviewing your results in Ads Manager, is also set to 1-day click only, not to default which is 28-day click, 1-day view. So you need to switch to 1-day click and look at your daily results to see how many conversions you're getting. We want 5 to 20 plus. If you're not getting that, consider moving the objective up in the funnel, right? So typically funnels might be like for e-commerce, like view content, add to cart, purchase. So if these are my purchases, I might move it to add to cart, or I might even move it to view content. Now, ideally, you can also help this with your budget. So if you look at your conversion rate of click to purchase, right? So consider your conversion rate. You can also help this out by raising your budget, right? So if I'm only spending $10 per day on this ad set to get these number of conversions, that means I'm getting like $5 purchase, $10 purchase. Overall, I'm getting purchases for around, $40 spent, 3 purchases total. So I've spent $40. That means I'm getting purchases for around, $13 each. Well, if I need to get 20 of those, or I want to go to 10, then I need to take my budget up to $130 per day for that ad set. So this is why I kind of lump all this stuff together: the budget, the bid, the conversion window. We have more information on this in AFADQ, but hopefully this is helpful information. Now, if you set, one other note on this, if you set your conversion window in your ad set to 7-day click-through, or some kind of 7-day version, 7-day click or view, this is all fine and well, but the problem is your optimization algorithms only are going to run on 7-day increments, and I've confirmed this with Facebook. So from day 0 to 7, you're just going to be like, there's not going to be any of the machine learning algorithms helping out your OCPM delivery to find high propensity people, right? So the first optimization is going to occur here at day 7, and the next one won't occur till day 14. So there's a trade-off there. I would say if you can, stick to 1-day click through and just use your budget and your bidding to get more conversions. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful there. And it's not easy. I would say the other thing is with these conversion windows and so forth is you can run a split test to test different conversion windows and different bidding objectives and different bids. So automatic versus manual. So if you do a split test, you need to set this up in Power Editor and use the guided creation tool to get access to the split test. But I can show you kind of an example here. Let me see if I can. Actually, I'm not going to do it. I can't show this just because of the account, but you can split up like, oh, I want ad set 1 to, all these ad sets will be based on the same audience, and I'm going to test my delivery optimization. I might have ad set 1 optimizing for a 7-day conversion window with automatic bids. I might have ad set 2 7-day window with automatic bids, and I might have ad set 3 with 7-day window with manual bid and bid high for conversions. So and then you might have ad set 4 with optimizing for clicks. And then basically what Facebook does is they take your audience that you choose, so give it a big audience, like a big lookalike audience, and it splits it up evenly amongst those however many ad sets you choose to split test. And then it will test them and let you figure out which one worked best. Now, I'll say that the split testing, the only issue is a little expensive for smaller advertisers. Like minimum budgets can be like $1,200, and we're talking about a campaign that'll run for 2 weeks. So when you break it down by day, that's not that bad. We're talking about $100 per day roughly. But anyways, so check out split test. I'll put a link to the Facebook documentation on split test in the notes below. All right, last but not least, this is probably the most important and the biggest one, is not relying on form submission-based tag fires wherever possible and avoiding page view tags at all costs. And that's just it, page view events, right? So a lot of people, they have a checkout form, and then on the thank you page, they fire a purchase event with a conversion value on the load of the thank you page. Well, the problem with this is Facebook will try to dedupe, like if they reload the page over and over and over again within like a very short amount of time. But let's say like a lot of funnels and a lot of advertisers, they have, you buy the first product and then the thank you page is also like an upsell page. Well, if that person like keeps that tab open on their phone and then comes back to it a couple days later, you're going to fire another purchase event. And then you're going to get duplication and your numbers are going to be off. So I see this with leads. I see this with purchases. You should know that you can use form-based tags. So when I say form-based, I mean like if you have an order form, you can fire the tag on the submission of that form instead of on the next page view. All right. This also helps you decouple your purchase events from your thank you pages, which just helps with like management of tags and so forth. Now, the easiest way to do this would be through Google Tag Manager. If you haven't downloaded our Facebook Pixel implementation guide, we have a whole video on how to use that. So go to funnelboom.com/FBP. You can get that Pixel guide, pay what you want, and I'll walk you through that there, how to do it with Tag Manager. But just doing this will clean up your tagging and your tracking accuracy considerably and ensure that your ROI numbers are way closer to reality. All right, so what next? So you've gone through Facebook Ad Measurement Mastery, and we have a couple other courses available, or they'll be available here really soon. And depending on what you're looking for, you might be interested in getting one of those. Now, the first one is kind of a beginner to intermediate level course where we're gonna, you can watch us over the shoulder with a real ad account. And the second one is more focused on a specific strategy that our team uses for driving leads for less than $1, oftentimes less than 50 cents, even in very competitive US niches on Facebook. So those courses are, the first one is Awesome Facebook Ads Done Quick. Like I said, that's available soon. We have everything recorded, just got to finish setting that up. You can actually pre-order that. There's a link below the video to pre-order. And like I said, it's a no fluff, kind of actionable over the shoulder walkthrough of us working with a real ad account, taking it from zero to profitable. And so if you're a beginner or an intermediate advertiser, this might be a interesting course for you. You're going to learn kind of how we organize our accounts, everything from setting up our initial audiences to how we organize campaigns and ad sets. And then we'll actually take you through think it's about 10 or 15 days or so of video updates of us launching campaigns. You'll see exactly how we set up the campaigns, the copy, the images, the different campaign types. So you'll see how we're doing that, and then some of the optimization decisions we end up making to try to improve the profitability. And it does cover some advanced stuff, but mostly going to be geared towards you intermediate folks, maybe the folks who've had some success on Facebook but want to get more of a system around what they're doing. So it comes with a process guide and about 4 hours of videos, but we try to make it as concise and actionable as possible. It's definitely not a interface walkthrough or, hey, this is what this button does. It's more of actionable. Here's how we would go about, if you had an account, our team would take it and set it up and get the ads going. So that's the first one. Awesome Facebook ads done quick. Again, there's a link below this video where you can learn more about that and pre-order it. The next one is quizzes that convert. So this is the one I was alluding to earlier, where we're using quizzes to drive profitable leads. And when I say profitable, I mean we're acquiring leads for relatively cheap. But as you've learned through this course, the cost doesn't really mean anything, relatively speaking. What we're after is that the quizzes are not just important because they drive engagement and lots of shares and all that good stuff that Facebook loves as a platform, but also because we're using the quizzes to generate personalized offers and personalized feedback on the thank you page. And so this course will take you through all the detailed technical steps of how to set it up, the software that we use, the 3 different types of quizzes that we run that have proven to be really successful. And again, I'm not saying you need to be a programmer to take this course. You definitely don't. In fact, it's geared towards people that want that extra hand-holding of, well, how do I create a dynamic thank you page? How do I connect the leads that come in from my quiz to my email service provider and pass the data from the quiz, so the segmentation data that you can use later, into the email service provider itself? And that one will be coming out late May 2017, maybe early June. I've got most of the videos ready to go, and then we'll get that finished up. But you can pre-order it now. There's a link below this video. So that pretty much wraps it up. Again, thank you so much for checking out the course. I hope you found it valuable, and feel free to reach out to us. There's if you're on BoomBox, the our new training site, which is where we're going to be posting all our courses and so forth going forward. If you want direct help, there's links on the member homepage for that. If you need help with tagging or funnels or whatever it may be. And thanks again.